podcast devoted to obscure cinema. Hosted by horror enthusiasts, Creepy Uncle Kevin, and Dungeon Dan. On Reel 9, we bring you the facts, the news, the reviews, and the fun. This is Reel 9!
Welcome back to Reel 9. I'm Dungeon Dan.
And I'm Creepy Uncle Kevin. And now we're talking about the movie Kidnapped, 2010. We're going to review this film. The way I saw these movies is I found Kidnapped on Netflix, and I was avoiding it just because the cover was so simple of this person with hands over their face. Kind of reminded me of Don't Breathe cover, and I always thought those were simple posters or images for horror films. And I'd seen so many home invasion movies, I didn't really want to see another one. You know, I kind of figured what would happen in this movie.
Wondering if it's going to be a copy off of something.
Is this worth it? And it's in another language. Geez. But then I watched it and I was blown away. And then after that is when I saw Inside, so like the following week, and I was blown away by that. And then I heard that they were remaking Inside, the people that did Kidnapped, and I was blown away. And that's when I was just like, oh, fucking Dan.
Do it now.
Dungeon Dan, you got to see these movies. So last night you saw Kidnapped. And what were your first impressions of that, Dungeon Dan?
The movie as an overview, I liked.
Yeah.
I liked it actually a lot. But as you know, when I called you up about 40 minutes into it, and I was like, dude, this is just kind of a rehash.
You called me up and you said, you know what? I don't think I like this movie. I was,
yes,
what's
I
up,
did.
Dungeon Dan?
And then Creepy just says...
You said all these bitches are a bunch of pussies. I was just like, darn it. It's Dan on a Saturday night. He's having a good one there. Like, all right.
Yeah. But either way, he says...
But you're correct.
Look,
those guys are pussies.
Yeah, it was. It was horrible. So anyway, Creepy just says, hang tight. It's not going to take long. It's going to kick off. And sure as hell, it kicked off and it went. And, you know, again, it was kind of a formula movie. I've seen other home invasion movies that were very similar, especially with the characters. You know, you got the bratty child, corporate office dad, mom who you really can't figure out what's going on with. But when this movie takes off, it goes wrong all the way. It just like Inside, it just goes poor for everyone involved.
And what's weird about it is that it has this sense of class, or the way it's presented. It's elegantly shot, and it's just so artistic. The movie is very well known for being done in 12 shots. And it's kind of...
Which I find amazing.
Right. I never got to count them or anything. The first time I saw it, I didn't notice that. It felt like there were edits because the camera moves around so much. His choices of shots are very interesting. And there's these two moments in it that have these split screen sequences.
I'm glad you brought that up because that's one of the things I really liked, especially... Well, I'll let you talk about it.
Right. Well, I was surprised. When I first saw it, I just remembered the one. And then the second time I saw it, I was like, whoa, there's two. The second one is amazing because there's two shots and they're going on at the same time. One's following the father's character and one's following the daughter's. And what's happening to both of them is equally horrific. And they both end up combining and meeting up at one moment. And the two shots combine and just become one frame.
Yeah, the split screen slowly starts coming in as the father and daughter are meeting in real time. I thought that was the coolest thing I've seen in a long time. I've not seen anybody do that before. I've seen a lot of movies that had split screen stuff going, but that was cool.
Yeah, and they were in different locations and came together. I don't know how they choreographed that, and it just came out really good. I'm sure they shot that movie very quickly because they only did 12 takes. The movie's production budget was under $200,000, which is really low budget.
That's low.
The movie's directed by Miguel Ángel Vivas, who also previously directed the film Reflections, and then after this he went on to make Extinction. And it's co-written by Javier Garcia, and he also is the camera operator on the film. He did the Steadicam work, even though the DP is a different person. And Javier Garcia also is camera operator on his film Extinction. I think that's very strange because the whole film is handheld. I mean, he should get the whole credit in a way. What did the cinematographer do? Just come in there and fix the light bulbs?
Probably. Just arrange the lighting, making sure everything was consistent.
Right.
But yeah, I think the guy that was holding the camera and doing all the moving, he should have got a lot more credit in this.
Yeah. The director of photography for Kidnapped is Pedro Marquez. And then the director of photography for Extinction is this guy whose name I cannot pronounce. Jasu. His name is spelled Inchaustegui. Okay, man? So, like, just
That
freaking
doesn't
give it
help.
up, man. But,
Just say it.
yeah.
Say it for the buzzer.
So that should be interesting. He did Extinction and Inside, let's put it that way. But it was just an amazing job, and I'm really bummed out that he's not the operator for Inside. But since the director has worked with the new cinematographer a few times. Also, the guy whose name I can't pronounce, Jasu, he's a cinematographer for Witching and Bitching. Which is really good.
Excellent movie.
Yep. And
Excellent.
He also did Sex and Lucia and Vicky Cristina Barcelona, which is a Woody Allen movie. So I just say if he worked with Woody Allen, and he's in good hands. That's a good cinematographer there. Witching and Bitching and a Woody Allen movie. We got something good. Also, more stuff about the movie. One of the stars is Fernando Seo, a guy, I can't pronounce that name either, but he starred in The Orphanage and The Skin I Live In. The budget for the movie was under $200,000. So yeah, they already filmed the movie Inside. From what I understand, they did a premiere somewhere. I think it was actually in Texas at a show called like Stitches or something, some sort of film fest. It appeared in August 2016, and I can't even find a review on the movie. I know it's done. They've wrapped production. It's on IMDb. You can look it up and see all the actors, but I just can't find it. We're in 2017 during this recording, and so if you have a copy, you can find us. Get us a copy of that movie.
Please.
All we know, there's one of the actresses is Rachel Nichols, who's also in The Woods, and she's the star of P2, if you've seen that one. She's in Pandemic and G.I. Joe, The Rise of the Cobra, and she's also in Star Trek. I don't know what role that is. I was trying to find more information. I thought this was kind of cool. Bloody Disgusting said something like, it's shocking that it's being remade before Dimension could ever put it out on Blu-ray or ever even release the unrated version of the film. Which is true. So I don't even know how the makers of Inside feel about these guys remaking their film. And then I also don't know if they're going to remake it in Spanish. Because why would you remake a French film in Spanish? Doesn't it seem like you'd want to...
It seems to me they would at least do a language option.
Yeah. No, Extinction's in English, though. So it'd have to be in English.
You got that?
Granted.
But still, why would they...
Do you think the Inside remake is going to be cut? It's not going to be as violent?
I don't know. I don't even know why you would attempt to do that. Then I feel that it's in good hands after seeing Kidnapped.
I agree with that.
Really?
But how would you make the movie more, not commercial, but acceptable, or what's the word?
Good. If you're going to make it acceptable, it's not going to be the same movie. It can't be. It just can't. Inside was an amazing gore fest that if you're going to redo it, I don't even know how you could make it better.
Right.
So why
What's
bother?
the purpose of remaking it?
I can't.
It's even
see
more
one.
so. I mean, like we were talking about how they're going to remake Suspiria, and there's kind of a why bother because you don't have those same locations to use. They've already been used. Same with this film. Those effects gags have already been used. Those gore gags, and I can't even picture how you could pick it up a notch. You know?
No. There's no way to take that up a notch without just, I don't know. That movie was so over the top.
Right.
To take it up anymore, you'd have to be like live audience or something.
If you lessened it, it would just take it away. Because that's the whole point of the movie. It's just so shocking. You're not going to fucking forget that movie. You're going to want your friend to see that movie so you can talk about it. Right?
Be one of us.
I think Kidnap is a good pairing with that movie.
They fit together. So what do you think? On a scale of 1 to 5, Dan, what do you give it?
Kidnapped?
Yep.
I would say 3.5.
3.5.
I would go 4, but it did have that typical slow intro. It doesn't really get good until, they get into the shit.
Oh, and speaking of the intro, by the way, I'll give it 4. But speaking of the intro, how about that intro that we see the guy wrapped in plastic, and he gets hit by the car, and that's completely not related to the movie at all.
Yeah, I didn't understand it. I kept waiting for the movie to end that way, but it didn't. So what's up with Plastic Head?
Is it just supposed to be like these are serial kidnappers that they went on? That's another family?
Oh, that's a good idea.
Another related incident,
Maybe that's it.
Right.
Never occurred to me.
And I guess that this really is a problem over in Spain when this movie was made in 2010. There was a rage of home invasions.
Those are scary.
I guess it was a real problem.
That's why I like home invasion movies. It's something that can happen. It does happen, and that makes it all the more terrifying.
Well, it teaches
It's like
you to defend yourself. Once those
Yeah.
guys take off the mask, fight for your fucking life.
Yep.
Yep.
Well, heck, you should just go ahead and start fighting for your life right off the beginning because, you don't live through those things very often.
That's the part that's annoying about it, or always frustrating about home invasion movies, and that's what's good about them. You get really engaged in them. And I got to say, the second time I watched this movie, in the intro, I was completely frightened or at the edge of my seat because I forgot when the first guy appears. I'm not going to try and spoil that either. But when he first appears and the home invasion starts, I kind of forgot, and I was like, oh, is this the scene? Wait, was he in the background? When's it going to happen? I know it's going to get loud all of a sudden. So it was still suspenseful the second time.
Movie holds up.
Yeah.
I highly recommend people see it. I mean, a lot of people will be offended. There's no doubt about it. But the movie's a good movie.
Right. So now let's cut the shit and get into the spoiler.
Oh, I love the spoiler section.
Whoop, hold up. Stop sign. Spoiler alert.
I want you to tell me what happened.
So, yeah, long intro. That frickin' second wait, while watching it the second time, it kept me in suspense because I knew that motherfucker was jumping through the window behind him the whole time. And they're just talking and getting ready, arguing about the teen, not letting her go out and stuff. And I see their reflection, and I'm just looking constantly at that fucking window. And it's like they set it up on purpose for the second view. Because they stay on that window, and then they go away, and then they come back to it. And I thought it was
And the
brilliant.
first time you're watching the movie, you don't catch on to that.
Right.
Now that you know it's coming, it's more frightening.
He was fucking with me, and it was cool. I was like, oh, that's the window he's jumping through. And then they go, and just keep talking, move away from it, go back to it. He's going to come now. Keep talking. Fuck. Then they still got me. I wasn't expecting it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't
Yeah,
it wasn't as intense because I was totally looking at the window, and instead of him like jumping through the way I remembered it, he just smashes it with something like an axe or some, I don't know, piece of wood.
Right, and then comes
walks
through.
Yeah. The way I
But
remember
the first time you think he like, ninja jumped through.
Right, because I'm just watching it and then blast. Yeah, I thought Jackie Chan busted in or some shit. Things are about to go down.
You bastard. Your time has come.
And this is where the movie this is where they get in the shit. This is where the movie started, where I actually started liking it because, like I said before, the setup, it was just cliche after cliche. You see it in every freaking home invasion movie. You always got a bratty child who wants to go do something.
Right.
You got a wimp mother or a wimp father. The other one has to be the bad guy. They argue about it. Up until that point, I was uninterested. Hence the phone call.
You have one more chance.
Right.
But yeah, once the dude came in through the window, the whole movie changed.
And on they go.
And it got brutal. I mean, again, in every group, you always have this one psycho who just has to, like, I want to beat something, rape something, and I'm taking my mask off, which is your hint. Okay, we're all dead.
Yep.
They show you your face. It's over. Grab something, fight, go down swinging.
Right. I don't know if we should keep it in order or not. But I love the scene where, I think we should kind of keep it in order.
What is the most dramatic part?
Okay, sorry I jumped
No,
ahead, left field.
But also one of the things I loved about it, once they get the dad, and it was cracking me up for some evil reason, but he just keeps saying por favor, and I've never heard anyone say por favor in a really like sympathetic, begging for their life kind of thing. I always heard it like just like, oh, por favor, I'll have some of that por favor or some shit.
Por favor.
Like I thought it was like something cute and like mocking, but this guy's just like, por favor, por favor. And I was like, oh, por favor, it means please, but I never heard someone begging for their life with like, please, don't rape my daughter, por favor.
Por favor.
It sounds weird.
Yep.
But that cracked me up.
That sounded funny.
But then, so let's see what happens then. Like,
well, they dragged him through the house trying to get into, to find a safe and
right.
A variety of other things. And, that was fun to watch because they didn't take him through nicely.
Right. One of the other things that I love was when he has the mom and the daughter all tied up on the couch and they're all on the verge of getting raped and they're just like on the verge of getting raped or saved, you know. And the guy just sits down between them. And
It forces his way between them because they were sitting real close, and just squishes in,
And-
huffs a few times, turns on the television.
lifts up his mask, puts some blow or whatever white substance on his hand, and does a line.
Groovy.
And just sits there and puts the mask on. And this shot stays there for a real long time. He gets up and gets chips and sits back down. And you're just like, oh, he's eating after he just did a line.
That is gross.
And he's sitting there, and you can tell he's like scratching on his mask. And I'm just like, oh, fuck. He's tweaking, and he's just like, my mask is itching. He's going to take it off. He's going to take it off. And then more shit happens. But I thought that was a great scene. And also, what's interesting is their choice of shots in this movie.
How so?
Well, like when they kill the security guard. I thought that was really interesting because they had this amazing scene where they cut his throat.
The throat slice itself was done really well, but what got to me was how long the dude twitched.
Right, that's what I
It
was
wasn't
talking
like-
about. Choice of shots. You see this gory scene, and then he collapses, and we stay on his legs for.
Yeah, and it's not like an epileptic fit type of twitching. It was, twitch, and then you think, oh, that was his death twitch, and then it'll all of a sudden, doom, it'll do it again.
Right.
And they're going through his pockets and taking stuff, and it was just uncomfortably long.
Yeah,
in my
and you can
opinion.
hear them arguing in the background and carrying on while he's bleeding out. And then they come back and
Yeah,
they're getting stuff
'cause
off
he-
him. Then you can hear him stab him a few more times. He's still not dead.
Yeah, it was brutal, and and again, that was fucking Crazy Boy that did that, and the other kidnapped her. I guess they had a plan where nobody was going to get killed, get in, get out type of thing, and he's just freaking out because he's like, "You killed him. Now what are we doing?"
Right.
So
yeah.
if they hadn't done that, everybody could have lived, and they probably could have got away. But now they have evidence.
What do you
Now
What do you
there's-
think their goal was? We never really
to be
know.
honest, we never get that insight. But to me, the way they came in and the way they played it, my impression was, let's get in, get this done, and get out, and be done with it.
Anything you can do, I can do better.
But going to the ATM every day is not the plan. Can't be.
It might have been part of the plan, because let's face it, ATMs today, you can't just withdraw everything at one time. You got to get a limit.
I know, but
I'm
even then,
I'm
what's the
assuming.
max? Well, you can get like $300 out of the ATM, I believe. So he's getting $900. I mean, if it's more over in Spain, whatever. So he's getting $3,000.
I get that too. So
Then
it's
he's
like,
gonna get
what's the
6.
point of doing that? I don't get it. Wouldn't you want to wait till the next day and have them, figure out a way to go into the bank and withdraw a large sum of money?
Aren't they smarter?
Did-
They have all the codes. They have the cards. I figured they should pull up a laptop and start doing some weird shit right there. They're foreigners. They're supposed to be all smart, hack into things, and fucking, there we go. We're into the U.S. system.
They're all
Trump wins.
Hans Gruber, huh?
Yeah.
I think we can do better.
I don't know, Kevin. It does seem like it was a little out of place when you think about it that way. Because they could have just had the plan of, let's go in, get what we need, kill everybody. We'll have their ATM card with the PIN number, and we could just sit there. We got at least 2-3 days before somebody finds them.
Yeah.
We can just be taking money out at different locations. I don't know. We never get to find out what their plan is. They just show up and cause havoc.
Yep.
All right, where are we leaving off? Because I know we're coming up to a couple of my favorite scenes.
We went everywhere on that one.
Yeah.
So, well,
All right.
we're talking
Well, the
about
guards.
the ATM thing.
Well, I only bring it up because it's like, usually if you're going to do a home invasion, you're not really going to be taking people out of the house. So I guess that's why we went on that tangent. Although I will say, it leads into one of my many favorite scenes.
Yeah. So, also, I was noticing the second time I was watching it. All right, the dark-haired guy who starts to feel sympathy for the mom towards the end of the movie? He's got
Yes.
kind of like a goatee kind of thing.
Yeah.
Do you think that's one of the same guy who's helping he's moving stuff into the teen's room, the daughter's room, and then he's got the golf clubs, and he goes into the father's room, and he's like, where do I put this? I think that's the same guy.
I'm trying to remember because I didn't really pay attention to the movers that much. But
'Cause-
it would make sense if they were like scoping out the family, getting a lay of the house.
Right. And
That
that
would
would
make
make
sense.
sense So that there's a whole foreshadow, and maybe there's even more guys in there. I bet you the truth lies in the credits. or on Wikipedia or something if I researched it. But, if we're from Spain or something, we'd probably recognize the actor right away. Go, look, that's Carlos.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So.
That's interesting. I never even thought of it. But
because that would explain why he feels bad, too, because he was already in there seeing them unpack, and so he kind of got that feeling of them, and then he's harassing them and ruining their lives.
Right, but I mean, this guy obviously is not the baddest of the bad people, because he, right from the beginning, is trying to keep Stone Cold Killer in check.
Yeah.
That guy kept getting out of line. I mean, once they took the dad out of the house, that guy just started getting creepy.
He was
mean.
awesome. He was just a force, pacing about, kicking things, freaking nuts.
Of course, yeah. At that point we didn't realize, guys on blow.
Yeah, Tom Sizemore comes in. Fuck! I want to rape you, God damn it, but I can't. Just let me rape her. That's the way he was, and he does. He ends up raping that teen.
Yep.
Dan's favorite scene.
I don't know why you say that.
Dan said that was the worst rape scene he's seen. I'm surprised that you said that, though. Why? Have you seen Irreversible? Fuck that.
No, I don't think so.
Oh, we're not going to do a rape podcast, though. Anyway,
Yeah,
that's
I
the
don't
worst.
think so.
If you've seen Irreversible, you couldn't say that's the worst rape scene ever. So.
Well, I don't know. For me, American Mary made me cringe. I hated every second of that. I didn't like it.
Yeah, I still haven't seen it. I still haven't seen American Mary.
We'll talk about that on another podcast.
Yep, when I see it.
Yeah, Cokehead finally goes nuts, drags the little girl upstairs and rapes her. By the way, we just skipped one of my favorite scenes. Can I backtrack us?
You just jump around. It's fine. Whatever.
Fine. Fucking Cokehead breaks the mother's arm and
Right.
does it in a really bad way. Throws her up against like a painting, has her arms pulled out, and then just hits the elbow and snaps it.
Yep.
Oh, it looked painful.
She blacks out.
Yep, she blacked out, and then the guy with the conscience, picked her up, and I don't know if he just put her down and then went upstairs to take care of Raper Boy, but he ends up upstairs, walks in during the rape, walks back out, and leans up against the wall like, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do?
And then he gets the guts and goes in.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just a really good scene right there where they just show her staring at the wall after she's been raped, and she's slowly putting up her panties. And there's this weird drone where you think she's been so affected and so ruined she's not going to do jack shit. She's just going to lay there in a state of shock. But
Right.
but she doesn't. This is the only part where one of these people stand up for themselves and fights back. So this is good for the young girls to watch. Actually, not.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend this.
Because she does. She reaches, she grabs that lamp and breaks it on that guy's head. It doesn't really do much, but still, she fought back.
It gave her a chance to try to run.
Yep.
And of course she didn't get very far out of that bedroom. She has to
This
fight.
is about the moment when we split into the split screen, right? Or cut into the split screen.
Yeah. So we get to see what's going on in the car with the dad, and then we're watching what's going on in the house.
Yep. And she goes running away from that guy and frickin' slips into the security guard's blood. Great scene. And she's just drenched in blood in a panic. She does such an amazing job in this movie. And I was watching it last night because I watch stuff loudly. It's just her screaming during this whole split screen scene is so fucking annoying. It sounds like something horrible is going on in this apartment,
It was horrible. Yeah, a girl screaming like that, it gets on my nerves, but I understand why.
Yeah.
But yeah, she basically gets herself into I think she's in the bathroom locked up at this point, and she just loses her shit.
Yeah.
And it was painful to watch. Of course, Cokehead gets in, and there's another fight.
Yep. Yeah, so there was a strange foreshadowing to that. I don't understand what it was, but when they're unpacking, he's going like, the father's saying that he hates that statue, and she says, oh, come on, your mom gave you this statue, or something like that. And he's like, oh, that's the only reason I have it around. But anyway, so later she ends up grabbing that statue that looks like a big egg or something and just bashes in that guy's head splat.
Oh, and they did a good job on that, because there's a couple times where she was pulling it up for another hit, and it came out of obviously it's a fake head, I would hope,
right.
But it just kind of like, sucked and
Sinks
plopped
and then
out.
plops up.
and all this blood's dripping off it, and then she goes down for another hit. I'm just like, wow.
Yeah.
Talk about angry.
That was badass.
It was. And at the time that this is happening, again, you got the split screen, and Dad's pulling some shenanigans. It looks like he's trying to wreck the car and got his mask off, and he's got a gun pointed at him. He's like, stop. And then next thing you know, a shot pops off and the car crashes. And you're getting to watch it. So at this point, I'm thinking, well, there goes Dad. He tried to do one brave thing in this whole movie, and it's done.
And then the camera stays on, too, and stays in the car with them just passed out for a really long time.
Yeah, a long time.
Until finally the camera gets out of the car, and they're both walking, the daughter on the right side of the frame and the father on the left side of the frame. And at the same time, they both fall down, too.
Uh-huh.
In it. So
it's kind of cool.
Yeah, it was very well timed. And that's when they walk both through the house and meet up to each other, and the two shots collide.
Become one.
Yeah.
That was done really well. But here's where Dad made another stupid mistake. When he's walking up to the house and it's still split screen, I think it was the sympathetic kidnapper that was getting away, right?
Yeah, he got away.
Okay. Yeah, he got away. The dad just let him. Dad's got a gun. The dude's just sitting there, and they're slowly passing each other.
Right. That's
Why didn't
one
you
of the
cap his
creepiest
ass?
scenes in the movie.
It was tense because I kept waiting for one of them to shoot each other. I didn't see a gun on the other guys, on him, so I was thinking the dad was.
Why
just gonna kill
didn't
him.
he do that? And what was the guy running away with in that bag? Some silverware?
I think he filled the bag full of a bunch of stuff that he stole. I mean, it was a wealthy family, so there's got to be plenty of stuff in there you can get money from.
Wow.
But yeah, that proved to be a fatal mistake.
I think we're going to have to do better.
Yeah. Well, no, that's not the guy who comes back, though, is it? I thought it was the driver or the guy who was in the car.
No, I'm pretty sure it was the guy he let go.
No, I'm pretty sure it was the driver.
I listened very closely as he continued.
I think the guy
guess I'll
got
have
out
to
of the
watch it
car.
again.
Right. Well,
So
we both have to watch it again. That's what's cool about the movie, too.
Yeah.
I don't know how much other people are going to want to rewatch it, but I can tell you I enjoyed it more the second time. I actually enjoyed Inside more the second time, too.
I did too.
Uh-huh.
This one I've only seen the one, so I'm gonna have to give it another look just to answer the nagging question about who came back.
Both these movies are an acquired taste, I suppose. But if you love those movies like Strangers, or what else? Like even Green Room.
Green Room, would be fit that category.
Even like Don't Breathe or Hush, those kind of films. These are isolated movies, and they're just really well done, very stylistic.
And these two just happen to be pretty heavy on the gore side. I mean, Green Room actually was pretty gory too. Violent.
Yeah, the gore was really surprising in Kidnapped, because for a while I didn't think it was going to go there. I
didn't either.
It's been over an hour before the gore starts, and then it happens, and it's very realistic, and you just are very taken aback.
Yep.
And they do a good job, too, because there's not a lot of character development. We don't have time to care that much about these people. And, in fact, they're rich, stuck-up motherfuckers in a way, right? I mean, that's why you called me going, these guys are pussies.
Yeah.
But
yeah, exactly.
It gets so horrendous. I mean, the second time I was watching it, and it was late at night, I kind of felt a little, like, sick or, like, nauseous. I mean, there was a part of me that all of a sudden I just was in the movie, and I remembered, oh, yeah, this is just all people getting just humiliated and ripped apart until they die. Okay.
Right.
There's nothing happy about this movie. Oh, speaking of which, I was telling Dan there's a happy ending, right?
Oh my God. For like 3 phone calls, 3 nights, he's like, yeah, wait till you see it. It's got a happy ending. So I'm waiting for the happy ending, trying to figure out which one of these assholes is going to live or what's going to happen.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, there is no happy ending. I think I was just happy it was done. Yeah, I fell for that one.
Yeah, you called me back and you said, yeah, but I might have to watch it again because there wasn't a happy ending. I was like, no, that was the joke, man.
Yeah, like Inside, this one ends badly for everyone. But it's pretty brutal. Do you want me to talk about it, or
yeah, go ahead.
It? All right. Well, nobody lives. I'm just going to tell you. Spoiler. Sorry.
Right.
Nobody lives, but it's the way they go out. The dad gets his head bashed in
with a
from whoever
sledgehammer.
returned with a sledgehammer. mom, daughter, and boyfriend are all coming up out of the cellar where they were, but mom comes up first, and she has a gun, takes one shot, misses, gun jams. So, of course, the bad guy gets the gun, clears the jam, boom, mom's down.
Great shot, just right in the head.
And right at that time, daughter and boyfriend have just come up to top landing and saw it. So, yeah, they
And
just...
you know what's
she just
interesting
saw
about
it.
this, though, too, is because... So the father's there, and the guy comes up with a sledgehammer. And what does he do first? How does he knock the father down?
He's coming after him, and the father's on the phone talking to the police, and the police say, give us an address. And when the guy comes at him with the sledgehammer, he puts his arm up to block it, and he quickly says the address, but he got knocked down when he blocked the blow.
Right.
And then the killer just
And then the
rears
camera
back and boom.
shows the guy on the floor, the dad on the floor, and then the camera goes up, and you see the sledgehammer go down. And I was expecting them to show the guy's head just splattered all over the floor like we saw before after the girl smashed in the one dude's head with that sculpture. Right. But they didn't, and I felt denied as a gore fan. I was like, fuck, man, they didn't show that. And then they have the mother shooting at him. She misses, and the guy goes right up to her face, and BAM! Just close-up shot of her head blowing up. I thought that was great. I was like, oh, shit. Well, they gave it there.
Yeah.
They made up for it on that one.
Oh, yeah, they did. It was brutal, and it was so well done, it looked like somebody just got capped.
And I wasn't expecting a female's head to get cracked right like that.
Right. And boyfriend, at this point, like I said, mother or daughter and boyfriend witnessed mom getting her head blown off, I should say off. Boyfriend makes a run. He's all like, screw this, I'm out of here. But he gets about to the front door and gets shot right in the back, and he's done. He's out.
So what he gets, Caesar.
Yeah, for running. So so now this just leaves the daughter, and she drops to her knees, and it's like a close up
Of her,
and not a full head close up.
and you're
you're
feeling like, wow, this is the worst. She's the only one who actually stood up for herself. She's the only one who killed one of these three fuckers.
right.
And now she just saw her whole family and everyone she loved get killed in front of her. Everything's been taken away, and she collapses to her knees. And
she's covered in blood, and she collapses, and now I'm waiting for the gun go off on her, and the scene just dragged out.
right.
And out of nowhere.
And then now I'm waiting, like that's the end. It just leaves her with that fucking, just with nothing. You know, what's she
That's
gonna
what I
do
started
with the
to
rest
think.
of her life? Yeah.
Because, dude had a gun. Well, he obviously hasn't killed her, so it's like, okay, this is going to be worse on you. You're going to have to live for it.
He just walks away.
Yeah, well, he did walk away. We just didn't know where he went until, out of the blue, comes a fucking knife.
Boom.
And she just starts brutally stabbing her in the gut.
Over and over.
Over and over, and credits.
And then just cut.
roll.
Miguel, Angel Vivas. And happy music.
Oh, Isabella, don't cut your hair. Let it grow out, see your sister.
I know, it was the craziest thing.
Yep.
I'm just like, wow, that you didn't screw around. And we didn't get to see her last dying face, nothing.
They went for broke,
Just-
man.
They went for broke. Brutal stabbing, cut the credits, and happy music. Oh, there's the happy ending.
Yep.
It's in the credits. But yeah, that movie, like Inside, it really took me aback. I was not really prepared for this. Yes, it did mimic a lot of other home invasion movies, but at the same time, it took it to a level that I hadn't seen before. This one was a little slower to get into it, opposed to where Inside, it was only maybe, 10 or 15 minutes, and then you're into it. This one took longer, but it was worth it. It was worth sitting through it, and I'll probably watch it a second time tonight, all the way through, keeping in mind trying to figure out who came back and did the final murders. But I think I'm going to enjoy it.
They're kind of completely different, though, because to me, Kidnap is just shot more elegantly or looks better. I don't know. I'm not trying to rip on Inside in that way, but they have different feels, even though they're kind of the same subject matter. I don't know. They feel like very separate films. However, they have the same impact on me. That I remember seeing them before you did, and it was by accident, and it was during the same month. I think I saw them pretty much a week apart, and I didn't know anything about them. And after that, I think I tried to watch like a Marvel film or something. And just
How'd
like
that go?
nothing after those movies could compare, or nothing engaged me or got me into it. Because those films, I got up out of my seat and watching them at home and paced around a few times. I was really into it. Like, fuck, what's going to happen? I wanted to pause it and tell my roommate, like, this shit's going down. You know?
Yeah. The tension level was so high, you're just like, oh my God, I can't take this.
Yeah. It feels like newsworthy. Kid just got abducted and shit's all fucked up. It's real.
Well, I'll say on both these movies, I came to points where I hit pause and I called you up.
Right.
That's how, first time on Kidnap was to complain about everybody being a pussy. But, on Inside, I had to pause it a couple times and call you going, what the hell? What the hell are you making me watch?
Right.
But it was great. I would say for the true horror fan, these are worthy of being in your collection. Or at least just see them. They're on Netflix. I watch Kidnap on Netflix.
Oh, absolutely. I think both these films go on the top something list and are necessary for me as a connoisseur of horror to have in the collection. Even though they're just freaking top notch. You got to see them if you're a horror fan. If you like Home Invasion. If you don't like Home Invasion, you're not going to like this at all.
Oh no, you're gonna don't watch it. You'll have nightmares.
And I know there's. I totally understand why people wouldn't want to watch Home Invasion movies and think they're obnoxious and.
Well, technically, I don't really want to watch them because they scare the hell out of me. But at the same time, I do watch them. I've seen many different ones. I'll just have to say this one took it to the top.
Right.
I'm almost afraid to see what they're going to do next.
I guess I never get too excited about the concept of a home invasion movie. I wasn't excited about seeing Kidnapped, but the fact that they pulled it off like this was amazing. And I wouldn't have gotten excited about the synopsis for Inside either. Some girl can't have a baby. She wants a baby, so she's going to go take it.
I agree.
Yep.
It wasn't until you rode me for a few days trying to get me to watch that. And again, like many movies you tell me I should watch right away, I put it to the back of the pile. And then when I see it, I'm all like, damn it, I should have watched this a long time ago.
See, but now we're telling everyone, Dan.
I know. Isn't that nice?
Yep. So don't see the moral of the story, kids, is don't lollygag like Dan. Watch these movies right away.
Get off your ass and watch them.
And then comment below. Well, anyway, kids, I guess we're wrapping up this episode of Real 9.
I can't think of much more to say.
We're going to wrap up.
All right. Let me
stop.
Hit my stop button.
Oh, Isabella, don't cut your hair. Let it grow out, see your sister.
Stop this.
It's the end. I think we can do better.